But one person I seen you interview, and it was like one of your first big interviews. It was Subriel Matias.
Oh yes.
Killer.
Mm-hmm.
They call Dave Benavidez the Mexican monster. This is the Puerto Rican monster.
Yes.
He's fighting Liam Paro on June 15th. Do you have any opinion on that fight, Liam Paro,
He's
Subriel?
actually in a tough fight. He's in a tough fight. It's gonna be really interesting to see how he gets past Liam. I think Liam's really a really great fighter, but he's been making these guys quit. I feel like I don't
Beating the
know.
brakes off of him like left and right.
Yes, and
Yeah, yeah.
the thing with him, I don't think he's like the most skilled boxer, I guess you can say. He just can hit. He like his punches are just solid punches, and I don't know, they're built different. He's built different from out there.
I, I think
Um,
I think he's skilled in his own way. Like,
you think so?
everybody. I think he's skilled in his own way. Like,
I feel like he gets hit a lot.
he does. He does. Not as much as he used to. I think his defense is tightened up a little bit.
Right.
But any volume puncher that's throwing that many punches is going to get hit.
Yeah, that's
So
true. That's true.
so it is what it is. I think like many years ago when I was younger, Evander
Mhm.
Holyfield told me one time a long time ago. He said, Brendan, you got to fight the fight that works for you. And
Mhm.
so he fights how what works for him. What
Works for
works for
him
him
and
is
exactly.
pressing these dudes, and some people call them arm punches, but these arm punches they just slowly beat and grind these guys down. So
And the thing with him is he doesn't get tired. I don't think he doesn't really get tired. He just keeps
nah,
going. He just
nah.
keeps going. So I think he's actually one of my favorite fighters right now because the whole thing with him, I was who was in that undercard when he was defending his title for the first time? Who was the main event? Do you remember?
His last fight?
Was it the first title defense? I think it was the last fight.
I'm drawing a blank here.
Who was the main event? It was a PBC card.
Subriel Matias 25. Oh, Ergashev? Was it
Yeah,
Ergashev?
yeah,
The
yes.
Uzbek. Yeah, Ergashev. That was in the undercard of Crawford. I think was it Crawford? It was either Canelo Charlo or Crawford Spence. I must say it was Canelo
One of
Charlo.
those. One of
It was
those.
Canelo
Yes.
Charlo.
Yes, one of those. So I was scheduled to interview, I think it was Hector Garcia, because he
Okay.
was in that undercard as well. But it turned out that Hector couldn't do the interview no more. And the PBC guy, he was like, Martin, I don't know if you met him. He was telling me that Hector couldn't end up making it. And if I wanted to, I could interview Subriel Matias instead. And I was like,
Okay.
okay, for sure. But this was like a day before the actual interview. So I was like, damn, now I got to study Subriel, like his whole life and everything. And it was actually really interesting to see his whole life. Like he's been to prison, his whole situation about unfortunately killing somebody,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the ring.
I
So
watched that fight. I watched that fight. It was crazy.
really,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is actually really cool. And then I interviewed him, and the interview got caught short because I guess I ran out of time. And I was like, man, I had all these
Yeah.
questions left. And then
That's how it
when
goes sometimes.
yes, and
Yeah.
then so I had to cut it short, but he was really sweet. And then I met him in person when Bam fought Sonny Edwards at the press conference because one of his guys, I think his name is I forgot his first name, but his last name's Gonzalez. He trains with him.
Okay.
Um, Kevin
Oh,
Gonzalez.
Kevin Gonzalez. Yeah, Kevin Gonzalez,
Gonzalez,
the
yes.
122
So he
pounder.
yes, so he was out there supporting him, and I was like, Subriel, remember me? Like I interviewed you, and he's like, oh yeah. So that gave me the that opportunity to interview him again. So
Yeah.
it all worked out. Everything I felt like everything was meant to be to get that second interview. So and he was super chill too. He's like, if you ever need another interview, like I'm all for it. And I was like, thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah.
This is great. But
Yes.
yeah, I think he's one of my favorite fighters. He's super exciting.
He is super exciting. Liam Paro fight's interesting because I know I don't want to say I know Liam personally, but I met Liam like in 2021 when nobody knew who he was. Like he was just in Vegas, training at this gym, and I know he has a lot of rounds in the bank with Devin Haney and Shakur
Oh,
Stevenson and those guys. So I know he's gonna be sharp.
yeah.
It's just anybody you could be as sharp as you want against Matias. The question is kind of like when you fight Junto Nakatani or Williams Pitt or one of these volume punches. You gotta can you
Can you
take
hang?
yeah
Can you hang in there?
yeah can you withstand the heat?
Yep.
Because if you can't, it's gonna
You
be
out.
a short night for you.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. If it's a long night, then you might be in some real trouble.
Yeah. Dang. I don't know. I feel like Subriel's gonna take it.
Conventional wisdom says he should.
Mhm.
I don't think. I mean, I've watched Liam fight a bunch of times, like 3 or 4 times. I don't think he's got like the firepower to keep Subriel off of him. But again, they fight the fights for a reason. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
I feel like Subriel's not gonna respect him. If he feels like his punches are not gonna hurt him, he's not gonna respect him.
That sounds about right.
He's just gonna keep on going until you say, okay, no more, no more.
Yeah, and with him making these guys say no more, right? That sometimes
they call him no mas tias.
No, I never heard that actually. So
yeah,
you put me on game. No mas tias.
No mas tias, yeah.
Okay.
Subriel no mas tias.
I like that. I like that. A lot of guys don't want to fight him, or they're not eager to fight him. Like even
because it's a low risk. I mean,
high risk, low reward.
High risk, low reward. There we go. It's because he doesn't have the biggest name.
I get it.
Even though he's a champion, he doesn't have that name. But damn, he's gonna put up a great fight against any of the champions at 140.
I don't think it's fair to say that a champion is high risk. I feel like once you get a world title, okay, you're just a dangerous guy. You can't call him low reward because he has a world title. That's reward. That's
true. Yeah,
that's a bargaining chip you can use when you negotiate to get more money. So it's not low reward, but that's just how I think. What do you think about him against like if you had it your way, who's the guy you want to see Matias fight the most?
Teofimo. I want to see that fight so bad. They were the whole situation with the hand injury, and then I think Teofimo had February 8th already saved, and it couldn't be made. So I was just like, man, that sucks. But yeah, that's a really great fight. I think both fighters, they're both explosive. I feel like they're gonna be talking smack to each other. Like,
they are.
It's gonna be very interesting to see. Hopefully, we're able to get that soon.
Yeah, Teofimo had those controversial comments about the Puerto Ricans that caused a big stir at the press conference for Jermaine Ortiz. So it's that could be that would be a great fight. I want to see. I know it probably won't happen because technically this guy's a 35-pounder, but he's fought at 40. I want to see Tank versus Subriel Matias.
Ooh,
that's the fight I want to see.
You think Tank will agree to that?
No, he wouldn't agree to it because the money wouldn't be enough, and it'd be a hard fight. And like when he fought Mario Barrios at 140, Barrios couldn't make the weight, and so I don't think he would agree to it. But if in a perfect world, like if I was in charge and I can make those decisions, like that'd be the fight that would happen.
Do you think he'll ever move up to 140 like soon?
Tank?
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
You don't think so?
Only for like it has to be the right fight. I don't think it would be for like a Subriel Matias. It has to be for like a big if it's a fight that can't command upwards of 15 million or more, then he's not going to do it.
Right.
I don't think so.
See, and that's what I meant for like the high risk, low reward thing with the money wise, at least. Because a lot of these guys, they want the big money fights, fights. And I don't think Subriel will get them that big money fight.
No, not yet. That's why I think Eddie Hearn has to really like box it. Like after the Paro fight, if he can't get a big fight, he needs to be back in the ring October, September. You need to keep him active. He's
going to be doing a lot of title defenses. That's for sure.
Yeah. Every Puerto
fighting a lot of mandatories.
Yeah. Every Puerto Rican boxing fan and Latin American boxing fan should know who he is.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.